Hello, AP students. This is Mr. Green, and I am going to be presenting today information relating to your AP administration this year. As most of you know, AP exams begin on May 2nd. It's just a short time away. And I'd like to make sure that you are all prepared for that exam day. What we're going to cover is the dates, times, and locations. I'm going to briefly discuss some information already in your Google Classroom for AP. I'll go into more in-depth information on the location as well as some exam day reminders. If you have not yet joined the Rochester High Google Classroom, please do so. I have put the code down here at the bottom of the slide. You can also find it talking to your AP teacher. This will be where you will always find all of the information pertaining to Rochester High School's AP exams. I will update things regularly here with materials or put something in the stream, so you'll always want to be checking back here. For this year's exam administration, you will already find any of the materials you might need, including the locations, as well as an alphabetic breakdown of the exact rooms that you will be in based on your last name. There's a letter that you should look at. I'm actually going to be sharing this letter with your parents, or at least a parent version of it. It outlines the specific things you can and can't bring to the exam day, as well as highlighting some of the information I'm going to talk about today. You also need to go over the expectations, the guidelines for AP testing. At the start of every exam, you actually have to sign your name that you agree and adhere to these rules. So make sure you check that out. I've also included a little video prepared by College Board to help you get prepared for your exams. So make sure you go in, check all this information. It is your responsibility as a student to have gone through all this information, to know the date of your exam, to know the time you need to be there, as well as where to be. You'll see in terms of the locations, all of our exams, with the exception of a couple, are at Rochester High School, which is great for our students. Most of the exams will be in the media center, but you can see those first 2 days of exams are going to be in the main gym, and that's because they're some of our largest exams. So you'll want to make sure you know exactly where your location is for each of your exams. You'll notice too, on May 6th, we'll be testing over at Hart Middle School. That is a professional development day and no school for regular students. So all of our exams will be there on that day. You'll be testing with Stony Creek as well as Adams High School. So there'll be a lot of students coming in and out of that building on testing day. In the morning, that'll be mostly our 10th graders taking AP US History. And in the afternoon will be AP Microeconomics as well as Art History. And again, we'll be testing as a district. So you want to make sure you get there on time. I've also, as I said, created an alphabetic breakdown of your room locations. So if you look at that ahead of time, you'll know the exact room number over at Hart that you will be taking your exam. So please make sure you check those out. Because they are off campus, you will have to provide your own transportation to that exam. If you drive your car, that's great. You'll park over by the football fields. All students will enter through the main entrance at Hart and then exit through the north entrance. There is a parent pickup point there, as well as some points to drop them off. I will again make sure your parents have that information, but you'll want to discuss transportation with your parents prior to that test day. Other information that you should know for all of your exams, the biggest one is no electronics. Cell phones, smartwatches, any of those things are prohibited from being in the testing room. Now, I understand some students need their phone to coordinate transportation. If you do bring your phone into the testing room, you will have to turn it in. You will have to turn it off. Any smart devices will also have to be turned in. And that's because College Board wants to make sure that no students are cheating, that there's no communication going on outside of that testing location. So that's the #1 rule. Make sure you turn in any electronic devices prior to the start of testing. You'll want to make sure you bring plenty of pencils. You also need a pen with dark blue or black ink for the writing portion of certain exams. I might not have enough pencils for everybody, so that's why it's advisable to bring your own set of pencils and pens. Any calculators that you might use, you want to make sure you check the rules for calculator use, what type of calculators you can bring in. I will not have extra calculators for students, so if your exam, you're allowed to use a calculator on an exam, make sure that you check that out and bring it with you. You'll also need your student ID, a photo ID, could be a driver's license, an ID card, your Rochester ID. Some students I know like to show it on your phone. That is okay, but again, you will then have to turn in your phone. So make sure you bring a picture ID. There won't be somebody necessarily there from Rochester High that will be able to identify you. So make sure you bring that with you. You will also be receiving at your first exam your specific label, ID label, and AP number for testing throughout the entire set of testing this school year. That means you'll need to bring those labels to every single test that you take. You will not turn them in after your first test. You'll just continue to bring them with you, just like your pencils and your pens. Those have to be at every single exam. If you lose them, there is a way for you to find that AP number in your College Board account, but you really want to bring those labels and not use them. When you should arrive should be a half hour before our test actually begins. So on a morning test, that means you have to be in the room or at the room by 7:30. For an afternoon exam, you'll want to be in the room or at the room by 11:30. And again, for the tests over at Hart, you want to take into consideration there could be traffic, there could be some issues just getting in and out of the building with so many students going to one place. Make sure that you give yourself enough time so you're not stressed. When it comes to back-to-back exams, you can bring a lunch or some food. You won't have tons of time. You definitely won't have time to go out to lunch. You might not have time to buy a lunch at Rochester. So you really want to make sure you bring some food. If you want to bring a snack, you won't be able to have it at your desk, but during the break, you will be able to eat that snack or drink that water, but outside of the break time, you will not have access to it. Any language exams here at Rochester, or specifically Spanish and German, will be in B103, and the other exams will be down in the Media Center. If you're taking a late exam and you know who you are, you will be taking that at the administrative building. I again will have posted those exact locations in the Google Classroom, so you'll know where that is. And again, you'll have to make sure to arrange your transportation. If you didn't know, scores will be released in mid-July. However, if you want to cancel an exam, you have to do it way before that. There is information on AP Student in order to see how do I cancel an exam. You will not get to see the score, but you can, if you just didn't feel good about it and you want to cancel it so it doesn't show up on that record, you can do so. All students are exempt the entire day of their exam. I will be turning in an attendance sheet to the attendance office with your name on it. However, if you do want to attend class, you can do so. You can go to your morning classes and hit your afternoon exam, or vice versa. You just have to make sure you go straight to your classroom, or if you come in late, you have to check into the attendance office and then go to your class. If you decide after a morning exam or before a PM exam you want to take lunch, you can certainly do so in the lunchroom. But again, you won't be able to simply move around the building or hang out in the hallways. So you'll have to get to a class or you will have to leave the building. If you are taking exams here at Rochester, I would like students to enter through the area by the football fields or the bus loop. You can park down in the junior lot or walk down from the senior lot if you'd like to do so. For exams in the main gym, you'll come in through the athletic wing and go through those steps. If you're testing in the media center, you'll come through those doors and go right into the media center. Any of the language exams, you'll have to just make your way over to B103. Finally, again, I want to remind students, you want to make sure that you have gone into your College Board AP account. You're not going to be able to access your scores if you can't. You'll also want to make sure that, yes, you are in fact signed up for the exam. You should have known that by now, but again, you can check your status there. And again, those AP number labels, when you get them at your first exam, you're going to take them with you. They're very important that you have those for every single exam that you take. If you have questions about anything related to exams, that your AP teacher can't answer for you, I'm happy to do so. Just let me know. Come down to the counseling office. First, check your Google Classroom, as most of that information is going to be located there. But I'm happy to answer any questions. Good luck to you all, and I hope we have a great AP testing year. Take care.